Last week, I filled in the inquiry form from 10 different real estate agents who are running ads. And I filled it in with a real number, a real email address, and also a real reason to contact them in terms of selling a house. And out of those 10, only 2 of them got back to me within 72 hours. And none of them got back to me within 24 hours, which is crazy because they're spending thousands every single month on ads to get these inquiries, and then they're slow to get back to you. And the reason this is so bad, because the stats are damning. There's a study with 2,000 US companies that showed if you get back to a customer within 1 hour, you're 60 times more likely to qualify them than if you get back to them a day later. So most service businesses and real estate agents, they don't have a lead problem. They have a response problem. But what they do is they're spending money on ads. They see that they're not booking in many clients. So what they do is spend more on ads. They try and make some new creatives, but it's actually not their problem. Their problem is their conversion, their lead conversion process. So today, that is what I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna show you how to solve this. But who the hell am I to tell you about this? I'm Joe, I'm the co-founder of Checkmate, and we build a no-leak lead system. And this lead system, we don't touch the ads. What we do is help with the conversion process. And we did this with a recent client, and we increased their booking rate by 460% without changing ad spend, without changing creatives, without changing any of the front end. All we did was make sure that the conversion process was complete and there was a no leak system. And what we realized with most of our clients, it comes down to 3 different leaks within the business and within the conversion process. And the last one is the biggest. We've recently worked with a client and we found $2.4 million sitting there in potential revenue that was just left because they didn't have a certain part of the conversion process that I'm going to go over today. So the first leak is speed to lead. Someone fills in your inquiry form and you have no set process of getting back to them. Yes, you might have an automated response saying, we'll get back to you as soon as possible, or drop us another email with questions. But when did your team get back to them? In 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, next day, 48 hours later? Or in my experience, they don't even get back to you within 72 hours. But the biggest problem with this, not only the stats saying speed to lead is so important, but when you're running ads, let's say I'm looking on Instagram and I see an ad for selling homes and I want to sell my home. So I go onto your ad, I fill out the inquiry form of saying, yeah, I'd love a valuation, I'd love to sell my home. What Meta then does is signal that I'm looking to sell my home. It updates my behavior. So then any other real estate agents in my local area who are targeting people like me who want to sell their home, suddenly on my Instagram, on my Facebook, all of their ads will start to pop up. And this is why it's a race to get back to the customer that filled out your inquiry form. Because you've basically signaled to your competitor that I'm someone looking to sell my home. So an hour later, I might have had 5 different ads from 5 different competitors. I might have filled out all of their inquiry forms. And it's basically looking at the stats, who gets back to me first. In the service-based industry, 78% of buyers go with the first person to contact them. 78%. So if you're taking the next day and your competitor is doing it in an hour at least, they are taking me as a customer. And this is why it's so important, because if you're not first, you might as well be last in terms of response rate. And leak 2 that we see is out of hours. So what happens out of hours? Most people don't have a system for out of hours. If I called up most businesses out of hours, or if I put in an inquiry form, I would not get a response to them the next morning or to the next Monday. But the problem is, if you're running these ads, most people are on their phone after their work. Out of hours is the time that you'll get most of your inquiries, because that's when people have the time to look at selling the home, or to book in the dentist, or to get their roof sorted. All of these things are done out of hours. But again, the problem is, if I filled out a form to sell my house at Friday at 8 p.m, I'm not going to get a response till earliest Monday morning. And in that time, I would have had the ads, I would have looked around. and I might have changed my mind. I might have lost interest. And that's why you might notice that you might get 100 leads come in, but how many of them actually pick up the phone? The intent was there, but you might only book in 5, 10 of those 100. And it's simply down to the speed to lead and the way you process that. And finally, leak 3 is reactivation. So many people, you might have been running these ads for 6 months or a year, and even if you're not running ads, you would have had so many people who were interested in your service, but never got round to picking up the phone or getting to that next step. And now you've probably got hundreds, if not thousands of people sitting inside a CRM that have never been touched. And this is what I said about a recent client of ours. We saw that in the past 3 months, they had $2.4 million worth of leads just sitting there in their CRM that no one had ever got around to contacting. So this is the easiest leak to fix because there's free money on the table. You just need to contact these people and there's no cost involved to contacting them. So what is the actual solution? So I'm going to run through 3 different flows that we use to solve this issue and to get a booking rate of 460% extra just using a conversion system. And I'm going to run through our whole system so you can implement it for your own business and stop leaving revenue on the table. And the first flow is someone fills in your inquiry form. Even if it's Saturday morning when you're not working, someone fills it out and within a minute, a voice agent will call them up and basically qualify them and book them in. So when you go into work on Monday, you've got all the bookings, you don't need to follow up with people. And I know what you might be thinking. Is this one of the robots for doctor's services that are like, press 1 for this, press 2 for this? It's not at all. And also it doesn't take away the process from your sales team. It is simply qualifying these people who have filled out a form, who have showed intention and booking them in. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works now.
Hey Joe, it's Ashley from Mark Reynolds' team at Reynolds Property. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. You posted on social media about what your place is worth, so I'm just following up. Are you looking to sell soon, or just getting a number on it?
Yeah, I'm just looking to get a number really. We're thinking of selling in the next couple of months.
Makes sense. And we're talking about 123 Joe Street, right?
Yeah, that's the correct address.
Okay, Mark can pop by to take a look, or he can just do it over the phone if that's easier. What works best for you?
Yeah, can we just do it over the phone, please? I've got a busy week.
No problem. A phone call is fine. Let me see when Mark's free to give you a call. He's got Monday the 10th or Tuesday the 11th. Which one works better?
Can you actually do Wednesday?
Sure, he's got Wednesday the 12th. Morning's pretty open around 9 or any time after 11. What time works best for you?
Yeah, 9 a.m. works.
Okay, 9 on Wednesday. Before I lock that in, the number I have is 07503 9. Is that the best one for you?
Yeah, that's the correct phone number.
And the email is @gmail.com?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, let me get that locked in. All set. Mark will call you on Wednesday at 9, and a confirmation's on the way to your email right now. Thanks, Joe. Have a good one.
Thank you. So as you can see, it doesn't sound like a robot. It can adapt to situations. It offered me Monday or Tuesday and I asked for Wednesday. It then looks at the calendar, comes back to me, suggests time and books it in. And I'll now have an email confirming that. And it's not trying to sell. It's not doing the valuation for you. This simply books in so that you don't have to handle your team having to call back and try and be within 5 minutes of every inquiry, because that is not realistic with humans. But what this does is book people in so your staff can focus on the best part, which is actually having these meetings and bringing in that revenue by having that human touch. And this system runs 24/7, 365 days a year, and you don't need to pay their pension, they don't have sick days or anything like that. So you do not need to worry about that. And essentially, this part of the flow, they call up and there's 4 different options here. Either they pick up and they book in, they pick up and they want a call back, they either don't pick up or don't book, and then finally they're not qualified. It might be the wrong area or they might not be looking to sell now. But either way, that will then say that they're not qualified and put them into the CRM as either not qualified or a reactivation if we want to get back to them later. So flow 2 is for everyone that did not book. So let's say they didn't pick up the phone first time or they wanted to call back. We then call them again, and we can choose the delay on how quickly we want to call them back based off what they say in the callback section. If they don't pick up here, we then have a chat agent that can message them saying, do you want to book in, handle any objections they might have had on a call, and follow up a few times as well. And this is why we have such a good booking rate, because we have multiple touch points. It's never intrusive. If someone says stop, the whole flow will stop and they won't be contacted. And that's why we never have any issues with people being negative or getting angry at all. We never have those issues. So at this point, people should either be booked in through the chat agent, voice agent, or they didn't ever pick up or they didn't want to book in, and then they go in the reactivation pool where we'll get back to them in 30 or 60 days to see if they're now ready to sell their home. So flow 3 is once the appointment is booked in. We've got reminders so people turn up. If they're a no-show, we'll have follow-ups to make sure that they rebook. If they reschedule, that's fine. We can obviously move the appointment and then have a follow-up process. And if they're never booked in, this is where the reactivation campaign kicks in after 30, 60, 90 days, whatever we choose that is best for your business. And this is using the leads that you've already paid to bring these leads in with the ads. And a lot of the time, the first time might have not been the right time for them. But in 30 days, they probably still have the problem that they want to sell their home. So us getting back in touch, you actually generate a lot of bookings through this, and it's completely free because you're not having to pay more for ads to bring in new leads. And this is exactly the flow that you should be running and what we've ran for one of our real estate clients in Australia. They were struggling to book in clients. They were struggling to book in meetings. They were running ads, they were changing the creatives, and just nothing was working. They were booking just over 1 appointment a month, and their highest month was 3 appointments. And that is when they boosted ad spend and then dropped it back down. So for us, we bought in this system because we could see leaks everywhere. We could see the first 2 leaks of out of hours and also speed to lead. So in the first month, we increased their conversion by 460%. We got 7 bookings in the first month, and the month before they literally had 1 booking. We didn't change ad spend, we didn't change the creatives, we simply changed the conversion process. And we're now in the process of reactivating new leads as well. So we predict 10, 15, 20 bookings next month. So that was just our most recent client, and we do this day in, day out, booking appointments. And our clients are amazed that they already had those leads coming in, they just didn't have the process to book them in. And not only booking more appointments, generating more revenue, they're actually saving so much time for themselves and also their team. And we're not like other agencies that will say, yeah, we'll take a retainer please, and there's no guarantee of results. We work completely pay on results. We only get paid when we book you in qualified appointments. There is simply no risk on your side. So if you're interested in having a quick 15-minute call with me and my co-founder Dom, where we'll look at your CRM, we'll look at your system, where the leaks are, and if we're 100% sure that we can help you, we'll then potentially discuss working together. And if we feel like we can't help you, we'll say that outright, and we'll also point you in the right direction of where you can go. So the worst case scenario on your call, you get a free audit of your system and you can go away and implement the systems yourself. I'll add in the link below to booking a call with us, and I'll see you on the next one.